We were actually lucky just a few months ago. We had the founder of Finn on our podcast, and we learned a lot from him,
Mm.
actually. This is really, you could see with AI how capitalism shows up. This was an AI native firm which came up with agents. So think about it this way: you want to go to a chatbot, but the chatbot is not tied to a particular software package. This is out of a box chatbot. It would work on any program that's behind the curve. So if you go to, let's say, a healthcare firm, and you're trying to solve some issues or customer service issues, and these guys would help you, and that's what they're buying. I think it's a very smart move on Salesforce's part.
I believe Salesforce has its own AI agent tool, Agentforce. Does this perhaps suggest that Agentforce isn't developing or progressing the way that, or scaling the way that Salesforce wants it to?
I think you're absolutely right. I think this is a signal that maybe Agentforce is only made for the software package that's behind it, which is Salesforce's package. This one is a generic chatbot that can go across the board. So I think that's something that people would need, because they're only not looking at the data that resides in Salesforce, but other areas as well. And frankly speaking, these guys have done a phenomenal job of coming up with their own models, own technology that sits on top of some of these systems of record. I think it's also a defensive move by Salesforce, because one thing is, if people are buying an out of a box agent from Fin or Intercom, was it called before, then down the road, you can actually start storing data in their database, and then the system of engagement becomes a system of record. And that's not a good thing for Salesforce, because that's really their bread and butter. So I think there is a little bit of defensive move as well, but you're absolutely right. I think this would help their agent for practice as well.
So stock of Salesforce is up just under 1% today, but it is down almost 37% year to date. Anurag, Salesforce is. And one of the challenges, as you've mentioned to us before, is some of these software companies, software as a service companies, they just got to show that they can compete against AI or compete in a world of AI. Is this acquisition one way for Salesforce to say, hey, we're serious about integrating AI into our products and offerings?
No, as definitely that's the case. So I'll tell you another company that is in that same rub called Sierra. This is from the co-founder of, this company was founded by a guy by the name of Brett Taylor, who is the chairman of OpenAI, who used to be a co-CEO of Salesforce, and he was also the chairman of Twitter. In the last 1.5, 2 years, that company has just taken off. I think the valuation is close to $20 billion. And it does the same thing: out of a box, white label agents that can then interact on the behalf. So it becoming the front office or the front face of some of these apps. And I think with this acquisition, Salesforce can defend itself from somebody like Sierra, who can, eventually come out and start taking market share away for them. So Salesforce, I think, is a good deal for them, that they are more aggressive right at the front of anything AI, and they're not just dependent on their own product, Agentforce.
So, Anurag, just kind of looking ahead, do you expect other enterprise software companies like a Salesforce to come out and make similar acquisitions? If this is defensive for Salesforce, what does it do to other companies, in its field of vision?
Yeah. So this wasn't just in the realm of customer service. We call this a CX agent. And there are like 3 private companies here. Sierra, as I said, $20 billion. It's too big for, to be honest, anybody to buy, frankly, from this point, because Salesforce is the biggest when it comes to customer service right now. There is another company called Decagon, which is, I believe the last valuation was somewhere around 8 billion. But the question is, who's going to actually buy them? Because the natural buyer would have been Salesforce. And the third one was Intercom in that framework.